Hi.
Like, I'm like, hurry up and do it while the intro's on. And then I didn't. Okay. What's up, Tim?
Hi.
Did you get the show shared?
Well, I'm working on it. You gave me 10 seconds there. And
I know. I feel like my intro needs to be like 2 minutes just so I have time to get my shit together. And then, then I can start. Because 99% of the time I'm just staring at my phone while people are watching me. And it's very awkward. Let's see. Melissa Blackman already chiming in saying good evening.
Hello. I swear to God, I'll pay attention to the show here in a second. Best guest ever. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, that's what the host does, so you're fine. You came to the right place.
I think we're good now.
Got it?
I got it.
Okay, welcome officially.
Thank you officially.
I'm so excited to have you. I know that I have heard your story about 872 times, but I'm excited for 873 because it's one of those stories that I can listen to all the time. Mostly because of puppies, but also because I'm happy you're still here.
I appreciate that, and I'm gonna go into like serious mode for a second.
Okay.
When you started this show, like I wanted to be a part of this, and I had just gotten let go from my job and had to go to second shift, and there was just no way to make it happen. And like 3 weeks ago, I got a promotion or got moved to first shift, and here I am. And I reached out to you right away, and I'm like, hey, guess what?
Yeah.
And we made it happen. So
yeah, because we've been trying to figure out a way. I don't know how to record a show and do it, and you had such a stupid work schedule. So I'm super happy because
1 p.m. to 9 p.m. should be illegal. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was difficult, and I kind of got through it, and here we are, and I'm on a normal schedule now, and I can do the things that I love to do again, and this was one of the first things I was like, hey, wait a minute, I got to get on this show now.
Yay!
So I'm excited to be here. Like telling the story, like I've never really gotten used to that, and I think I've said it on other shows, probably your show with Goose and Heisenberg. That if I ever tell a story and I don't get choked up and I don't get emotional, then I think there's probably something wrong. And at that point, people should be really worried. Yeah. But it's one of those things where I've been telling that story for, I've been telling Murray's story for I think 10 or 11 years now, and it's touched so many people. And in the beginning, I had no idea it was going to do that. And I don't think I was prepared for that. So, but now when I get the opportunity, it's pretty cool to be able to reach somebody, because there's probably somebody listening tonight that needs to hear it. And that's why I keep telling it. It's weird, because if I do post stuff online about mental health and how I'm doing, inevitably there's always one asshat that's like, oh, you're just looking for attention.
Oh my God.
And you just want to reach through the screen. Like, I am a legit 6'4", 250. Like, and sometimes I want to reach through the screen and just grab people by the throat because they're being stupid. But I can't, because that's not good for the brand, Denise.
I mean, I'd support it. I'm just saying.
But sometimes, people, it's okay to sit at your computer or with your phone and just shut your mouth.
Right.
Sometimes that's okay. That's a good option.
That's like a thing that people have forgotten, that there is totally an option to scroll.
Yeah.
Like, just scroll by.
I don't like this, so this offends me deeply.
Right.
And I will tell you all about it and why. And it's just, you don't need to. It's just, anyway. So
I just had this conversation with my 19-year-old. Like, we don't understand, what is the point of intentionally hurting someone? Like, does that make you feel like a better person when you make people feel like shit? Like, what is their purpose of doing that? I don't even understand.
Like, and I try not, let me rephrase that. I don't let people like that bother me. Like
Right.
it'll make me angry, but not to the point like where others, if other people are sharing their struggles and their mental health issues,
Hmm.
the worst thing in the world you can do is
Right.
attack them for having feelings.
Right.
And it's like I don't get it. When I do like lectures locally and they ask for what kind of paranormal investigator we look for, I say I can teach you everything about the paranormal that I know. I need somebody with compassion and I need
Hmm.
somebody that's not an asshole.
Right.
And if you're an asshole, I can't help you. I can't.
Yeah.
I really can't. At that point, do your thing.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
And I have
off
no
the,
desire. I have no
off the rails
desire to
already.
be around people like that. You know what I mean? I don't want to be around the negativity. It just brings me down, you know? I hate
It's a
them.
sparkling water beverage, Denise.
Oh,
Yeah,
not just the sparkling water, huh?
yeah, it's a beverage. I just wanted to explain that, 'cause I don't know. But anyway, we've gone off the rails, and I'm going to give your show back to you, and you can ask
You're
me questions,
fine. You're
and
fine.
I'll
It's
answer
your
them like
show
a
tonight.
good guest. But anyway,
What does
where do
that
we
stand
want to
for?
go?
What does that stand for? Oh,
What's
good
up?
ass kicking, maybe?
What are we talking about?
It says, do you see Melissa's comment?
Maybe it is. Yeah.
We'll just say that it is.
I mean, in all seriousness, I'm 48 years old, and my throwing hands days are. I mean, they probably should be behind me. Because let's face it, I'm kind of an old man by now. But yeah, there's days though. It's just it doesn't take. And I'm not real. You've known me for a while now. I'm not like the love and light crowd either. I'm just
Right.
I'm going to treat everybody the same way I treat. Like I don't play favorites. We did an event. What year was that? 2021. I think it's the first time we'd ever met. It was like 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
And you guys were like, "Oh, he treated us like family." That I just want everybody to feel welcome.
Right.
And we had such a good time too.
Oh my
We were
gosh, so
watching
much fun.
we were watching UFC fights and drinking Fireball with Carl Johnson.
It's such a good time.
Uncle Carl.
Uncle Carl.
I love that man. I really do.
But
Anyway,
yeah, I mean, there's a difference. You don't have to be like, let's hold hands and sing kumbaya. But like, if you're not going to be nice to somebody, like, just don't be an asshole to them. There's a difference. You can just be neutral.
exactly.
Just don't be an asshole.
Just don't be an asshole.
It's literally that simple.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm reading all of the things here, and I'm also not a medical expert. So,
Yes.
yeah. So I'm going to spout off a lot of stuff about mental health and the struggles that I've gone through and continue to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And I use humor a lot because it's what gets me through life.
Yeah.
But I'll be as serious as I can. And anytime you want me to jump into the worst story in the world,
I mean, I'm always ready.
All right. So my story starts in 2006. I mean, in all actuality, it starts in 1984 with my dad getting hit by a construction vehicle and being in a coma and all of that stuff, and just really messing up my childhood. And I tried to make it through as best as I could. And that stuff will mess you up. But 2006 is where the story that everybody is familiar with starts. And I had just moved into this house. I still live here. If I'm being honest with you, I kind of want to get out of here at this point. 17 years ago, I bought this house in October. So we're right at 17 years now. And I came into this house with a lot of emotional baggage, stuff from a previous relationship that 17 years later doesn't matter. It just doesn't. But at the time, anytime you go through a really difficult breakup, you think it's the end of the world. I think we've all been there. So when I moved into this house, I was going through a lot of stuff. That's the easiest way to say it. I don't think guys talked about depression. I don't think many people talked about it. I think mental health was a taboo subject at that time,
Mm-hmm.
especially for men. So I dealt with it silently and just really struggled. Um, Cried myself to sleep every night. Um, Begged my dad to come get me. And through it all, I decided that I wanted to get a dog. So I looked up on the internet. I found this lab pit bull puppy that had been rescued from the home he was in. Uh, the shelter went into the home and took him. The people that had him as a puppy had done horrible, unspeakable things to him, including but not limited to trying to tear his tail off. Um, Anybody that ever got to meet Murray, he never wagged his tail. He couldn't. Um, like I said, I'm going to try to inject humor into this. So, along with that nerve damage on his tail, it meant he couldn't control poop.
Mm.
So, whenever Murray got excited, he shit.
No.
And as he got older, it became, almost funny to us and just something that happened, and he couldn't help it.
Right.
And he always had this look on his face like he was so ashamed, but um, I digress. But I did take him to an event at the museum here locally, and I picked him up, and everybody was like, "Oh!" And then he shit on the floor. But I begged the shelter to let me come and visit him and come and see him, and they didn't want to let me because a man had done all these things to him, and they were certain he didn't like men. And I remember telling them after I was frustrated that I'm not a normal man. Like, I swear to God, he's going to love me. And I went and I visited him, and they let him out of the kennel, and he went the wrong way, which was something that he always did. He never got anything right the first time. He took after Dad.
You see why you guys got along.
Yeah. I should also add that as a puppy, the shelter named him Striker, which was a horrible name for a dog that had been beaten.
Yeah.
So the reason I had changed his name to Murray is I tried to find the most gentle name that I could, something that would convey what I wanted his life to be. And I settled on Murray, which sounds like an old Jewish man, but that's what we decided on. But I went to visit him the first time, and he went the wrong way, and they turned him around, and this little puppy that wasn't supposed to want anything to do with me came running down the hall, and he jumped into my arms, and I just broke into tears because that was my boy.
Yeah.
And they let me go outside and play with him, and I don't know how long I was out there, but I was out there for quite a bit. And when it was time for me to go and fill out all the adoption paperwork and everything, they had left him out in this chain link fence, and he was out there. I remember leaving and looking back and seeing him with his paws up against the fence and this look on his face like, "Why are you leaving?"
Oh.
And I cried the whole way home. I actually got to go and get him like 2 weeks later. And I cried the whole way home again because he sat in the back seat and he went from window to window, and he had this look of amazement on his face, and he was so happy. And I thought, life's turning around. Got him back to the house, and I had been dealing with a lot of paranormal stuff. That's how the paranormal comes into this story. A lot of people don't understand the connection between paranormal and photographs. Paranormal field gave me the platform to do all this.
Right.
And I had been experiencing a lot of stuff for the first time in my life. And I walked into my house with Murray, and he instantly started following what I was hearing. And it made me feel normal. I felt sane again, that another living being was experiencing what I was, and he was reacting to it. So that all went on for a couple weeks with the bangs on the wall and the voices in the house and the footsteps. And on top of that, really just thinking I was going crazy. Life was good with him, and we pushed forward, but nights were really dark, and I was still struggling a lot. And it was sometime in early 2007 when I sat in my bathroom and I had the biggest knife I had in the house, and I went through friends and family one by one, and I came up with a reason why it would be better if I wasn't here. And as I was about to do the unthinkable, I felt something on my left arm, and I looked down, and it was Murray, and he had rested his head on my left arm, and he was looking up at me with those beautiful brown eyes. And the first thing I thought was, what is he going to do if I'm not here? And I dropped the knife. I dropped to the floor, and I don't know how long I hugged him. But it was a long time. And from that moment on, he wasn't a dog, and I wasn't the owner. It was father and son.
Mm.
And I would have done anything for that little dude, and I still would. But life took us, a couple different directions, and ended up getting into the paranormal field and investigating homes, and ended up on Paranormal Witness with one of our residential cases. And the attention we got from that show gave me the opportunity to start speaking at events.
Mm-hmm.
And I used that opportunity in that space to create autographs for pooches. And at first it was just pictures of Murray and I, and he had a stamp, and I keep it right here. It'll never leave me. That's his paw, and I would stamp them with his autograph, and I would personalize them at events. And it was very small beginnings, and there really were no expectations. Then one by one, we started to get events that were really getting into it and getting behind autographs. Actually, in my memories today, I shared a picture from 10 years ago where John Cassidy shared a flyer with me and Murray on it, and it was advertising that autographs was coming to Little Traverse Bay Parafest. And it was the first time Murray had ever been on a poster. And just stuff like that. It just kept building and building and building. The state of Michigan has been wonderful to me.
Mm-hmm.
They've wrapped their arms around it, and they won't let it fail. And it's just been one hell of a ride. I mean, we've been doing this since 2013, so this is our 10th year. Actually, we're into our 11th year now. And it was a chance for me to create a legacy for Murray.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure people understood just what he did for me. And in turn, what he has done for shelter animals all over the country.
Right.
We've raised over $117,000 now in the 10 plus years. And I'd like to think the little dude's looking down and he's pretty proud.
Oh, I'm sure.
2019, Murray passed away. He was 13 years. He had a hell of a life, but it was still the worst day of my life. But I just remember the outpouring of love from the paranormal community and all of the folks that changed their logo or their Facebook profile page to Murray.
Mm-hmm.
And just being incredibly touched by that, and the amount of people that were mourning his death. And I got to share him with the world, but at the end of the day, he was my boy.
Yeah.
And I was definitely the one that was suffering the most. But love that little guy, and talk to him every day, if I'm being honest. It's just he's tough. But along the way, I mean, man, I've spoken at events and gotten done speaking, and there's a line of people out the door waiting to talk to me, which is
right.
weird. It's weird for me. But there's been so many people that have come up to me and told me their story.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's part of it that I didn't expect. That people would come to me and want to tell me how their animal saved them.
Right.
So I've formed some great friendships and met some wonderful people along the way, and it's just it's been a very rewarding 10+ years.
Yeah. It's there's like literally a million things that I love about your story. Just, I'm a big fan of like everything happens for a reason. There's no coincidences. Murray 100% was supposed to be in your life. These two broken boys found each other, had been through some shit, each of you, and you guys made each other's lives so much better. And I feel like Murray has a great view of everything now. Like you said, you hope that he's looking down and proud. I feel like he doesn't get to just see you. He gets to see like the effects of everything that you do. We can't just like float around and see whatever, but he sees all of the animals at the shelter. He sees them go home with people. You know what I mean? Maybe he's even matching people up to make sure they find the right owners.
I got a message earlier last week. My friend April,
Mm-hmm.
your friend too.
Yeah.
My mom lost her dog. I think 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
And I kept telling Murray that whole day, I'm like, you got to make sure that you take care of Cheyenne because, Grandma's going to expect that. And I got a message from April, and all it said was, Murray's really happy to have his friend back.
Oh.
So, I've gotten so many messages like that from people that don't even know me.
Right.
They've had readings with mediums that don't know who I am, and they've been told in those readings that your dog is with Murray, and it means something to them because they know me and they know Murray's story. So yeah, it's almost like he's on the other side and like he's in charge of all the animals, and I'm looking at him like a proud papa. So
yeah,
he continues to do the work up there.
It's so good.
I'm trying not to snot and cry the whole time.
No, it's fine.
It's not working.
Just use your sleeve of your shirt. It's fine.
That's disgusting. But hold on, I'll be right back.
Not wiping my nose on my shirt, that's for sure.
Yeah, I wasn't doing that. That'd be gross if I did that.
Melissa says, can you imagine the rescue shelter he has? What a dream come true. Serious. I feel like he's like the Walmart greeter for the dogs. when they cross over, he's like, hey, welcome. Let me show you around.
This is the fun shit we can do up here.
Yeah.
Or here, or wherever that is. No, I just, in my heart, I have to believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the story that I didn't really get into because I was mid-cry. But when he passed away, I remember that when I was taking him to the vet, I kept telling my dad, I'm like, you got to let me know that you got my boy. I'm like, you got to let me know because otherwise I'm coming to find him.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a rough night. I had a lot of friends that came over, family, and eventually they left. It was probably the darkest night I've ever had, if I'm being honest. And I woke up the next day with 5 messages from 5 mediums. And every message started with the same sentence. Murray needs his dad to know he's okay.
Yeah.
And, I promised my boy I wouldn't hurt myself if he let me know he was okay. So here we are, almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years, October 14th, that Murray passed away.
Oh my gosh.
So it doesn't seem like it's been that long, but yeah, he's still pulling the strings from the other side. He's still in charge.
He's still the boss.
Yeah, I'm still the puppet. I'm still the human that gets to tell his story. The only part that I really wish could have happened is he could have been here when everything really took off.
Right.
Because after he passed away is when we started really donating a lot of money, and that part of it is difficult. But he sees it,
right?
And I got people sending me text messages. I can't look at those during the show, people. It'd be rude, but I'm gonna, because it's probably my mother.
Is she yelling at you for sniffling?
No, it's work, and work can shut up right now.
Oh yeah.
But in the words of Ray, the goose,
right. Shut up.
But
yeah, I think that I want to say that I was around when Murray passed away, but I wasn't like, we weren't close or anything. But I think that people from the outside have double heartbreak because they're obviously very sad that Murray passed away, but they also know what that means to you. And so it broke their heart for you, like to watch you go through all of that. So I'm glad that you had all of the support that you had, because obviously everybody who's heard your story knows that that was going to be a dangerous night for you. Like if he was what saved you, then now what?
Yeah, exactly. And I've got Murray is he's the smartest animal I've ever been around. Like just a look, and he knew what I needed.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't difficult ever. And he was just like this dog that wasn't supposed to like people, just loved everybody. He just absolutely loved everybody.
Yeah.
So I was used to that. And then when Murray passed, the shelter I work with in Wisconsin got a hold of me, and they said, "Hey, we got these pit lab puppies coming up from Alabama. And here's the pictures, pick one." And I had it in my mind because I had a vision years earlier that I was sitting on the couch, and I was looking at my laptop and showing a puppy these photos of Murray, and letting this puppy know, all about his brother.
Yeah.
And it dawned to me in this vision that it was my dad, and he was like, things are going to be okay. You'll take care of it. And in the vision, it was this little white and brown puppy. So, and I had named it Ray, R-A-Y, the last three letters of Murray's name. So Murray passed away. I looked at these photos, and I had chosen a man, or a male. And I got another message from April, and she said, "Murray's excited that you're going to get a puppy, but he needs to know, he needs you to know that he can be the only boy."
Oh.
So that's why Ray's a girl. So I went back, and I looked at the photos again, and one of the girls in the photos had the exact markings that Murray had when he was a puppy.
Nice.
The exact markings. And I said, that's my Ray.
Yeah.
And I love that little girl more than anything in this world, but she is so stupid. I love her dearly, but my God, is she a dumb dog. And it's like you go from the best ever to like, she's probably average, like mediocre.
Right. But compared to Murray.
Yeah, compared to Murray, it's like, kid, you got no shot. And
right.
It's not fair to her. But I mean, she's a good girl. She really is. She takes after him so much with her mannerisms and her demeanor. Like, she wouldn't hurt anything.
Yeah.
She just wouldn't. She hates squirrels just like Murray hated squirrels. Sometimes I'll be sitting on the couch, and I'll just look into her eyes, and I'll be like, "I see you in there, buddy." Like, she was born 12 days after Murray passed.
Wow.
And sometimes I look into her eyes, and I'm like, man, it's almost like you're in there looking at me, pal. And how great that would be. But she's a great dog. And at the end of the day, he made sure that I had somebody to take care of me again for the next 12, 13 years. So
Right.
yeah, he's still out there looking after dad.
Yeah.
So can we talk a little like other mental health stuff here for a while? So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't want to sit here and cry for the next
Uh,
half hour.
can I show you a TikTok that I want you to talk about?
Sure.
I know I didn't prep you for this, but
You didn't. So I'm going to cry again is what you're saying.
oh no. But this is, I'm a mom of 3 boys. So this is super important to me. So it's 1 minute. Hang on.
Be honest, who do you call when you are at your lowest? Who is that one person?
Nobody. I'm a man. No one cares.
Not a single soul. Nobody.
No one. Because I'm all alone.
I think I speak for a lot of people when I say that I don't call anyone.
Nobody. I'm a guy. Nobody gives a shit.
Speaking for the guys when I say this, literally no one.
Y'all call someone?
Nobody. Just nobody. Got no one to talk to, so nobody. Who cares? Nobody.
No one. I'm a man. No one cares.
No one. Not a single fucking person.
I wouldn't call anyone. I wouldn't turn to a single person on this earth because they don't care. They will just find a way to use it against me one day.
We can call somebody?
There's so much truth in that.
Mm-hmm. And we kind of touched on it earlier.
Yeah,
when we were talking about, you posting something on Facebook and people immediately are like, oh, you're just trying to get attention. This is why guys don't call people.
I will say this. I will come on and I will do these shows and I will talk about Murray's story and I will talk about my struggles to an audience. There's Dave Benier. I'm a supervisor in my like everyday life. And Dave Bernier is one of the best employees I've ever had and is now a great friend. And I miss you too, buddy. Really good guy. I'll talk to a group of people about what I'm struggling with.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to like one-on-one, I have not had one honest conversation with my mom about this. She asks me all the time how I'm doing. And you don't want to worry the person that loves you the most.
Right.
You know how close I am to Todd.
Mm-hmm.
You've met Todd. Todd's a brother to me. I haven't had one conversation about this with Todd. Not one. And it's not because he wouldn't be willing to.
Right.
It's just because, well, first and foremost, when I'm around Todd, I'm a happy person.
Right.
I just, he's a friend that brings out the best in me. Sometimes the worst.
Yeah.
But I just don't talk to people one-on-one about it because it goes against, everything that people accuse you of. I don't want the attention.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I wasn't known for this.
I wish it wasn't known as seeking attention when you're looking to talk about things that everybody goes through.
If I'm being honest, I shared this with you before we went on air, and I'll share it now because it probably means something to somebody. I had Thursday and Friday off of work, and I was supposed to be in Indiana for an event, and that event got canceled. So I kept my vacation days, and I hung out with a friend on Thursday afternoon, and for the rest of the weekend, 4 days, I struggled to get off the couch.
Mm-hmm.
I struggled to shower. I struggled to clean my house. And everybody that asked, they said, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Just at home relaxing.
Yeah.
I'm just relaxing. I went through all of this, and a lot of good came from it. I recognize that. I just wish that it wouldn't have had to been that way. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I can't point to the point. I can't point to the time where my brain was broken, and that's the way I describe it. Like there are days I wake up and when your own mind is fighting against you, it's a dangerous game. And that's why I say Murray is still looking out for his dad because I made him that promise. And I've never broken a promise to him, and I don't intend to. But I'd be lying to you if there weren't times where I laid in bed at night and I said, Murray, I think it's time now. You can come get me.
Yeah.
Probably many more times than I want to admit. And please don't send me texts and messages because it's not going to help. But he's my world. He still continues to be my world.
Mm-hmm.
He's the reason that I know all of these wonderful people. With him, everything was okay. And it still continues to be okay because I made him that promise. He's the reason I stayed here for 13 years while he was alive, and he's the reason I'm still here.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's that part of it, and that's my mother. and even though I said don't text me or don't message me, I'm sure it's happening. And I'm not upset about it. I know these people care about me, but my brain is always wondering why. Why?
Yeah.
Why do these people care?
Mm-hmm.
I can't trust people. It's impossible for me. And I can't talk to people. That's really difficult for me.
Yeah.
I need distractions. I need things that bring me peace.
Mm-hmm.
And I love my mom.
You said don't text, so she's like, I'm just gonna put it publicly.
Yeah, so she just said, I'm gonna put you on blast.
Yeah.
No, I don't reach out to anybody. I've never reached out to Todd. Sorry, that was mid burp.
And you and I are so much alike. We've actually talked about this before. We both are the kind of people that will tell everyone in our lives, like, please, if you need anything, just reach out. I'm always here, and I would be. If anybody needed anything, I would be there in a heartbeat.
I have been.
Exactly.
I am that guy. Like, I'll be there for everybody else.
Yes. But then when I have an issue or when I'm not feeling right or whatever, then I feel like I can't talk to people because I'm going to be a burden to them. Like, I don't want to bother them with my problems, So I will not reach out to anybody ever if I need anything. But I'm always the person who, yes, please come to me if you need anything.
It's I can't talk. I don't know if I've even told you this. And it's probably going to be a big talking point after this. There's been things stuff in my personal life that has been really difficult to deal with here in the last year. We're that kind of friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll talk to you about that stuff.
Right.
And that has messed me up and made me not want to be available to the public.
Yeah.
And then there's been stuff with events where I'll just say it. There's certain people in the field that have a higher sense of worth than they should.
Mm-hmm.
And they make it very difficult for people like me to do an event because they make all of these stupid demands and they want the world to be about them. And unfortunately, every other event or so, there's one or two of them.
Yeah.
And they've made it less fun for me. They've made it like work. And when something that you're so passionate about and you've loved for so long turns into something that stresses you out,
Mm-hmm.
and it's time to find another avenue. So I mean, it's going to come out eventually, but my last appearance for Potographs is going to be next August at Michigan Paracon. They've got something planned for me there. I don't know what it is yet, but they're going to let me say goodbye there. And just let me get away for a while.
Yeah.
Because like the amount of stress, and this is going to come off as me being bitter, and I'm not, because the paranormal field gave me so much.
Right.
But there are people within the field and folks that go to these events that don't understand that they're not helping. And I just need to get away and regroup. Tim Ellis told me, we'll have you up there. We'll figure out what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
But he told me, he said, don't you dare say goodbye forever.
Well, I mean, that's fair on Tim's part.
Yeah. He said, you can say goodbye for now.
Right.
And it's just, I need to figure out who I am again.
Yeah.
And that's the difficult part. I mean, I had all these big plans to do my own podcast, and I was talking to you about it.
We talked to it. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, everything just hit the fan. And I was like, I don't want to be in front of a microphone every day or every week.
Yeah.
I just don't want to deal with it. So that's the big news coming out of this show is that next August, going to be walking away for a while. To me, it feels like forever. And there's relief with that. So, I mean, we've got the big event in Ann Arbor in March. Mm-hmm. That we're going to be doing. I'm honoring every commitment that I have, and we're going to make it a good year. And then I'm going to earn however long that vacation is. But I want to leave before I become the person that hates what I loved the most.
Right.
And I don't want to do that. So, that's a load off of my shoulders.
Yeah. See?
I've been carrying that around for a while, but we did an event here in Wisconsin a couple of weeks ago, and we had a problem with one of the talents that decided that he didn't like the amount of time he had in between flights. So instead of, just understanding, he canceled.
Wow.
And cost us $450. And then we had another event the week after ours in Wisconsin competing with us. And when they were asked about it, they admitted that they competed with us.
On purpose?
Yeah. And it's okay. Yeah. You can have this shit show.
Right.
If I'm being honest, Wisconsin was horrible anyway for events.
Was it really?
It was like pulling teeth. It really was. You had to beg people. And I had somebody for one of the events complain that the tickets were $60, but yet they'll pay, $150, $200, $300 for any other event.
Right.
We try to keep our prices reasonable, but it like everything just came down, and just a lot of stuff. Stuff that I'm not going to talk about on the show because it doesn't need to be public, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just that stuff that I was dealing with was just like, okay, this feels like it's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like this should just be it for a while. And like for anybody that's sitting there listening tonight and they're like, but what about Murray's legacy? First and foremost, I'm Murray's legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And if it came down to it, I'm sure my boy would say, I want my dad to be healthy.
Right.
So if we take a break or if we go away forever, I think he would understand.
Yeah, 100%.
and we'll find other ways.
That's what I was going to say. I think that it's good. And I know there's going to be some pushback about that, but I honestly think that it's really good that you are going to take a break. And I think that you especially should understand that what's meant to be will happen. And so maybe a year from now, you'll come across something and it'll be this totally different way for you to raise money, or, a different sort of opportunity. And then you'll say, okay, I could get behind this. And then you start doing things again. But I mean, I've seen and heard stories, of things that have happened at these events, and I don't blame you. People don't understand how much it takes to run these events, and I don't think that Murray's legacy is you stressed out, running around on a broken ass foot that you shouldn't be walking around on, and putting yourself in physical and mental pain to do these.
I'm glad you brought up the foot. I started having issues with this foot in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2020, I lost a toe because I wasn't taking diabetes seriously. And I got a horrible infection and it went into the bone and I lost a toe. And I never once felt sorry for myself because I knew I did that to myself. Got myself to a point where I think I'm reasonably healthy now, but I still continue to have problems with that foot.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I've had 3 surgeries this year, but I had a surgery in February and I was 10 days out of that surgery and I had I think it was 30 stitches up my foot, up the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And I got fired from my job because I had made a comment about a snowstorm coming in.
Oh God. Yeah.
And I never went public with this because I just didn't feel like everybody needed to know. But I made a comment about a snowstorm coming in. And, you got to watch out for yourself because, work will replace you. Your family can't. And somebody took that to HR and twisted it. And I got suspended and fired.
Yeah.
So I'm
not laughing at you. I'm laughing at just how unbelievable it is. We've already talked about the whole situation, but I just want to explain to people watching. I'm not laughing at your situation.
I got so bitter. I was such an angry person. And it was a month away from Ann Arbor. And I didn't have health insurance. And I have this event coming up and I have all these people demanding all of these things for this event. And I just want to scream.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew I couldn't cancel on Murray. So I went through the event and the Saturday night when I went to my room afterwards, I got to my room and I took my sock off and my foot had split open.
Ugh.
It looked like a butterfly shrimp.
Okay.
And there was all this blood. And when I got home, I still didn't have medical insurance. So my friend Michelle, Michelle,
mm-hmm.
She took care of me. She saved that foot because she's a CNA and she brought over supplies and she did everything she could to make that foot heal. And I did. I let it heal. And my mom and my stepdad were very supportive and took care of me for 2 months. Their 47-year-old son who couldn't support himself because my job decided that they wanted to prove a point.
Yeah.
Just to give you an idea of where all the stress and all of everything is coming from and what led up to this. We had a great event. We raised $11,000 in a blizzard.
Yeah.
We still managed to do that. But it was at that moment when I got back from that event that I just kind of shut the world out.
Mm-hmm.
And it just dawned on me that I need to get away. And I had this talk with Todd in July. So this isn't something that was just brand new.
Right.
I stewed on it from March until July. And then I talked to Todd. And Todd was like, yeah, let's walk away. So it's not been a good year with the foot, but the foot's healed now.
Yeah.
Like I found a job because I had to have surgery on my foot again. For those that don't know, every time I had a surgery, my bones were regrowing, but they weren't growing in a productive manner. They were like growing out the side of my foot, out the top of my foot. It was ridiculous. Like if you really sit back and think about it, it's hilarious. Like that all this shit just kept happening. But I had to have another surgery like weeks after I had started this new job. Like they had known me for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And they took me aside and they said, you do whatever you need to do to get healthy.
Ugh.
And we will pay you in full. And when you're ready to cut, this job is still yours. Because amazing. I was in danger of losing my entire foot. And my doctor saved it for me. And, I worked at that place for 5 months. Sorry, 5 months. And they've already moved me to first shift.
Nice.
They've put me, in charge of a lot of things down there that somebody with 5 months shouldn't be. So life's okay.
Yeah.
But it's just, man, it's been a year.
Yeah.
And with that foot, it's been, 3 or 4 years. And it's just, everything just piles up.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to get back to the point where I can enjoy things again.
Yeah.
And like be genuinely happy. It's nice to have things to look forward to.
Yeah.
It really is. But when those things cause you problems,
right,
then it's time to find new things.
When you're not looking forward to them, you're dreading them. It's time to find new things.
And last year's Ann Arbor event kind of did it.
Yeah.
But we're doing another one. So next March.
Come see us.
Yeah. Come see me next March and watch me have a nervous breakdown. It'll be fun for the whole family. But no, it'll be a good event to just kind of wrap it up.
Yeah.
I'm doing a Hinsdale House event next year.
That's cool.
With Dan Class. And those tickets are going on sale really soon. It's July 12th and 13th, but we're going to get the tickets out there. And it'll be pretty limited. But looking forward to that. I've got, obviously Michigan Paracon. I'm going to be there. I don't know what I'm doing yet. But we're doing something.
Yeah.
And it's going to be my opportunity to think a lot of people. I talked to them. I said, Michigan's been it for me. And I want to be where the most people are that have supported me and love me. And Michigan Paracon was it. So it's going to be a good year. I'm going to have fun if it kills me.
Exactly. I mean, and I feel like just knowing that there's light at the end of the tunnel, like that you're not going to have to go through this for the rest of your life. Like it'll be good. I feel like the events will be more fun because you don't have all that stress on you. Like, what are we going to do for the next one? Or, it'll be good. I think you'll have a blast.
This is where I'm going to sound bitter. For those folks that have told me for 10 years, I'm coming to the next one and have never shown up. How's the saying go? Shit or get off the pot.
Yeah. Now's your chance.
This is your chance. And if you don't come to this one, then I understand. I'm not going to hate you. Just stop lying to me and the rest of the world. That's all I have.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of folks along the way have been like, we'll make it to the next one.
Right.
Or they want to send you a list of people you should bring in for the event, and they just think that they all come for free.
Yeah.
Why don't you have Jason Hawes at your events? I'll say this on your show. Jason Hawes is a very good friend of mine.
Yeah.
If I saw him walking down the street, we would hug. We would say, hey, how you been? How's the family?
Yeah.
We're friends. But Jason also is pretty in demand. So it's never worked out. And that's not Jason's fault.
Right.
It's me being smart enough to go, you know what? If I bring him in, we're going to have to sell this many tickets. And we've never sold that many tickets.
Yeah.
On the flip side of that, guys like Dustin Perry, guys like Shane Pittman, guys like John Tenney, lesser known people like Tim Woolworth, like Deb DeRoos, Michelle Nason, Todd Arnold. Those folks have been there every step of the way.
Yeah.
Whenever I've asked them to do anything for me, they've been there. And those are the folks I'm going to miss.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's great memories, and I mean, we still got. I'm talking like it's already over. We still got 10 months, so there's going to be a lot more memories made. But yeah, so
maybe it's not a Paracon anymore. Maybe it's just a annual barbecue where you get to hang out with those people, and that's it. Like literally, just that's it. No special guests, no whatever, because you do have an amazing group of people. And I can't imagine you guys not getting together at all. So maybe you just need to do a yearly party.
I'm a pretty lucky guy.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
You are.
I forgot a name in there since I'm name dropping. John Zaffis.
Yeah.
Been a great friend of mine for 12 years. Those folks have always been in my corner. When I got into the paranormal field, those are the people that had my back, and they've been friends since the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, I've known John Tenney for 12 years, and I've loved the guy for 12 years.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic guy. He sucks at getting back to people. like anybody who's his friend understands that.
Yeah.
You know, if you call John or you text John, you best not expect to hear from him for at least a month. But that's just John, and I love him. Like I could sit and talk to that man forever.
Yeah.
Dustin Perry, he and I send texts back and forth weekly on wrestling.
He's such a phenomenal person. Oh my gosh.
We don't talk about. I don't talk about the paranormal with any of these people.
Yeah.
It's just normal stuff, you know. Hey, how's it going? How's the family? You know,
Right.
Dustin will get a hold of me and be like, "Hey, my daughter's selling cookies again for school." I'm like, "Yeah, sign me up for that $30 bag of cookies." But like the paranormal field has given me so much, and I've always said that there's no way I could ever repay it. And I think the way I repay it is getting out before it turns into something that I no longer love.
Yeah.
And a lot of people leave the paranormal field and they go out kicking and screaming and holding their breath. And I won't do that.
Yeah.
It's too important to me. So will I come back at some point? Maybe. Yeah. Do I get the next August and look at everybody and go, I can't leave you weirdos?
Right.
Maybe. But at that point, I think I burned a bridge with Tim and Brad and Michigan Paracon because they'll be like,
No
hey,
way.
you promised you were leaving. Get
no
out.
way. Not a chance. They'd take you back in a heartbeat.
But you know, I love those folks. I got a picture of John Cassidy on my desk here, and he runs Little Traverse Bay Parafest, and they just decided that they're not going to do their event anymore.
Yeah.
And I talked to John about that and completely understand why he doesn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I get
People don't understand at all how much these events take. And we live in a culture where like it's people make it their job to bitch about everything. You know what I mean? Like Ann Arbor, for example, people bitching to you about the kitchen being closed. Like, that's not my fault. I didn't plan that. You know what I mean? And so people don't understand. Oh my gosh, it's so much stress. Everybody's yelling at you for all these things that are way out of your control.
And you're the face of the event. So like the last thing you want is to go on social media and see all these videos of you losing your shit.
Right.
You know? So you got to sit and smile and
say everything's fine.
Yeah, everything is fine.
Yeah.
Nothing to worry about here.
Yeah.
But inside you just want to grab somebody by the throat and you can't do it.
Right.
Because that's not socially acceptable.
I think it's frowned upon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's this totally went a different way than I had planned.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't going to be like, hey guys, I'm leaving. Yeah.
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
Yeah. Cartman, screw you guys. I'm going home.
No, but I mean, I think it's good for you. I think that it's super important, you know, for everybody, obviously, in any situation. Like, if you're not happy anymore, fucking fix it. Like, okay, so a few years ago, my cousin passed away suddenly. She was 2 years younger than me. We grew up together. Like, her mom babysat me, so we were in the same Girl Scout troop. Went to the same schools, you know, all of that. We grew up together, and she had a stroke in her living room as she was about to leave to go to work and died. And ever since then, I'm like, what am I doing? I don't do anything that doesn't make me happy anymore. And it sounds like super selfish, but I don't give a shit anymore. Life is way too short to be anything but happy. And yes, I still have days where I actually just washed my hair for the first time in 2 weeks on Saturday because I had the big Paracon. I couldn't like not do it anymore. But I still have those days, but at the same time, like, I'm not going to intentionally put myself into a situation that makes me stressed out or sad or anything else. I'm proud of you for doing what you need to do.
You mentioned something earlier or just now. There's a lot of people that reach out to you. There's a lot of people that reach out to me, and we talk to them and we try to work through it with them. You can't help yourself. You can't help others until you help yourself.
Yes. Yes.
You know, I've like the last few months, I've felt like the biggest fraud. Like when I start talking about taking care of yourself and reaching out to people and talking to people because I'm not.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just, it has eaten up at me, and just, it has not been a good year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like you try to put on this brave facade and let everybody trust that you're good,
Right.
because that's what people need to see. But man, I mean, 4 surgeries on this foot in probably a year now.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, the doctor looking at me and going, we're going to give this infection another week, and if it doesn't take, we're going to have to remove the foot.
Yeah.
That was the moment that I lost it. Like I was like, I think I did a video on this where I talked about it in depth, but like that was the moment where everything hit me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I sat there and cried in the doctor's office after everybody left the room. Because before that, I was just like, you know, whatever happens, happens. I'm gonna stay positive. And then add on top of it, like 4 surgeries. I don't want to tell you how much in medical bills I have.
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys that doesn't want to go to people for help.
Yeah.
Like I never want to reach out to anybody for help. But I tell you what, a $30,000 GoFundMe would be fantastic at this. So there's the stress of that too.
Yeah.
You know, there's only so many times you can answer the phone and go, you know what? If I had money, I'd give it to you.
Right. Right.
So yeah, there's a lot of stuff. And you know, I appreciate what Melissa's saying about, you know, crying like damn fools.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a really tough weekend for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it might not end up being goodbye forever, but it's going to be goodbye for now. And there's going to be a lot of those folks that I'm not going to see again for a very long time. So,
well, the other thing too, you're forgetting is that you can just go to these events like as a guest.
Yeah, then I'm not getting away. I'm not getting away. I'm not removing myself from it. Then
yes, you are, because you're just going to hang out with your friends. You're not, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
as like buy a ticket. You know what I mean? Not set up a table, not nothing.
Do you know who I am? I don't have to buy a ticket, Denise.
We're just trying to explain the type of guest you would be. You know,
that is completely a joke.
Yeah.
We did an event. Was 3 weeks ago now, almost, in Ripon, where we announced that it was the last Wisconsin event, and I got really emotional during that, and I didn't expect it. But there's a photo that Todd and I use in our lectures of our very first investigation.
Mm-hmm.
And we always make fun of the other two guys in that photo because they're not with the team anymore. And we're not real fond of them. But the last event, I had always told Todd, like, if I ever change, punch me in the face. Like, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to change from who I am.
Yeah.
And we had the picture up, and I looked at Todd, and I'm like, I appreciate you never punching me in the face, but I look at that photo and I don't recognize those people.
Mm-hmm.
We're not those people anymore.
Yeah.
And Todd agreed, and then we cried. And it felt good to release that.
Yeah.
Because it's just, yeah, it's been a lot. And
because you guys are probably both like holding on, like not wanting to say anything for the other person. And then for you guys to both realize that you're in the same boat was probably like so freeing, like I don't have to pretend anymore.
And another part of that's difficult is for the better part of, God, 15 years, I worked with Todd.
Mm-hmm.
Like at 2 different jobs. And now we don't work together anymore. Because Amcor sucks balls.
Yeah.
But so we don't see each other very often anymore. So, that part of it was difficult because I know I won't see him during that stuff too, but we'll get together. I mean, we live 20 minutes apart. So, yeah.
Because listen, you and I are very much alike. And I know that if I don't force myself, like your mom's saying, to get out there and do stuff, that I'm going to just sit at home and I'm going to not take a shower and I'm going to be left alone with my own thoughts, which is the absolute worst place that I could be. So I don't think you should give up on the friends part of it and like the socializing part of it.
I mean, I'll still talk to people.
Okay.
Like I'm not disappearing from that. I'll still talk to my friends. I just have no interest in like attending events because that's not leaving.
I like it though.
That's just
because I don't
that's just going. But if I'm gonna be there, I might as well. Because it's events like that. Those don't stress me out. Like I go to Michigan Paracon. I got a little Traverse Bay Parafest. Whatever happens. I don't have any overhead on that event.
That's true. Yeah.
Those events aren't the problem. The problem is the exclusive events for Potograph, where this is how much money this event is costing.
Yeah.
And we've only had 7 people buy tickets.
Yeah.
And you practically have to beg them and pull teeth. And at that point, it just becomes not worth it. So,
right.
And there's a very loyal group of people that go to these events for Potterhouse. We sold 114 tickets to Ann Arbor last year.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, I knew 102 of them personally. So that's the group that we have.
Yeah.
And no matter who you bring in, you're not bringing in any more people. So at that point, it's like, okay, well, we're fighting against ourselves here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, mom's got all these ideas.
It's what, of like new hobbies?
Yeah, it's not like she's not going to get to see the grand pups, but yeah, I mean, it's maybe I'll decide that let's go for a trip and I'll hang out and visit a city I've always wanted to see here.
Yeah,
go visit stuff non-paranormal. I mean, I can still do that stuff. So, I mean, I got a bucket list that I'd like to start crossing things off of.
For sure.
I
think it's so important. Seriously. Honestly, as soon as my cousin died, I was like, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. I can't be around people or things that make me miserable. because literally you have no idea when you're done. You know what I mean? So why are you going to waste what little time you have just being miserable and stressed out if you don't have to be, if you have the choice to control that? You know, obviously I'm not saying like, oh, quit your job and go buy a van and, you know,
live down by the river.
Right. Isn't that funny how that's like a goal people have now?
Maybe I should do like stand-up comedy.
That would be fun.
Yeah. It would also be, I'd be very poor, but
just start at open mic nights at coffee shops.
Just get up and tell all of my diarrhea stories. This one time I shit the car.
Yeah. Just, I mean, seriously, make your bucket list and do it. Why not?
Yeah. The bucket list is pretty much made. So we just need to start crossing stuff off of it. But
yeah.
Yeah, it's but the biggest thing for people to thing for people to take away from this, if you're listening to this show, and I've rambled for over an hour, if you listen to this show and you're struggling, just realize that it can get better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it doesn't mean that it's going to stay better. You're going to have great days. You're going to have bad days. I'm nowhere near where I was 17 years ago when I didn't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, half the times that I'm asking Murray to come get me and say, hey, I think I'm done here. If you want to come get me, is because I want to be with my boy so damn bad. It's not because I want to leave here. And I know that scares people, and I'm probably getting another text message from my mother right now. But you have to understand that when that time comes, and I've said this before, so it's nothing new, but when that time comes, it's the greatest reunion that's ever happened. It really is. Boy, I can't wait to hug that little fucker again and just thank him for everything he gave me. You know, because you go back to 2006 or 2007, beginning of 2007 when it happened. The last 16 and a half years don't happen without him. So all of this is him.
Right.
All of this is saying, you know what, you got something to do here. You know, you got to make the best of this life that you have. I know he wants me to be happy. And like I said, I'm the puppet. He's up there pulling the strings. So we'll see what he's got in store for me.
Right. Exactly. I feel like it'll be something. I feel like Murray's not done with you, but I mean, you could be done with this at this point. But he'll think of something else. Because you're not in control of your life. I don't know if you know that, but
no,
Murray's in control of your life.
I have no control over anything. I am a giant man baby. When people find out I'm 48, they're like, "Oh my God, you're 48!" Like, all the gray in the beard didn't give it away.
You're like, I'm sorry. Did you expect me to have my shit together? Because no.
Are you saying that it's bad that I act like I'm 12? I'm sorry that I was given this wonderful personality and awesome sense of humor,
right?
And literally nothing else. No, it's yeah. So I guess the message is, I used to say this when I did a radio show. I'd end the show with, "Tomorrow can't be better if you're not here."
That's true.
You have no chance at a better life if you decide that you're done.
Right.
And I know that's hard for people that are really struggling, you know, to get up every day knowing that the next day is just going to be difficult.
Yeah.
But you got to keep fighting, and
it's so worth it. It's so worth it.
Not everybody
has hard to
know.
see it at the time, but
yeah,
there's so much good out there, and there's so many people out there that are love and, you know, do care. And sometimes it seems like you're the only person, like you're surrounded by people who are mean or abusive or whatever. But I promise you, there are good people out there. They just don't get the spotlight like the assholes do. Just hang in there.
I burped just now, and I remembered that I had Apple Jacks for dinner.
Mm.
Yeah, because I'm a big kid now.
That's a standard dinner.
And
I
it's
mean, I
really
prefer the mini Reese Puffs, but yeah, cereal is a dinner in our house as well.
yes, but yeah.
Listen, sometimes I only have the energy to respond to text messages or cook dinner or take a shower or clean up. You know what I mean? It's one or the other. I'm not going to do all those things. So a bowl of cereal it is. Who cares? You know what? That's fine.
Yeah, Monday through Friday, I'm obligated to take a shower because I don't think the people in the office want to smell me. But yeah, if I don't have anywhere to go on the weekend,
yeah, dude.
Yeah, like you know what? We're just gonna hang out with the dogs. They don't care if I shower.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not even like. Sometimes like literally my depression will get so bad I cannot. Like the thought of getting up and taking a shower is like the worst thing ever. Like you would think that I'm trying to convince myself to walk through glass that's on fire. Like it's rough.
Do you know what my biggest trigger is for anxiety? Have I told you this?
No, maybe.
I can't get the mail.
Really?
I don't know why. Like I freeze.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what I expect to be in the mail.
Right.
But I can't get the mail. And case in point, I got the mail yesterday. So October 2nd. I hadn't gotten the mail since the day after Labor Day.
Oh my gosh, stop it.
Yeah. And there was nothing in there that was any good. Like, just take me off the list. Like, it drives me nuts to go with the mail. So stop sending me mail. Like, everything is done. Everything's done online or on an app now.
Yeah.
I don't need your mail. Keep it.
I wonder, did you used to get bad things in the mail?
I don't know.
That's weird.
Like, I remember when I was younger just saying that only bad things come in the mail because nobody.
That's true. It's like, bills and junk
once
mail.
you become an adult, like, nobody sends you a card like, hey, just thinking about you. How you doing?
You know what? We should, honestly. People should do that.
But yeah, nobody does that. So every time you go to the mailbox, it's like, what bad news is in there today? You know?
Yeah. And then once you do it, you're like, okay, that was not even that bad.
Yeah, and then I completely, am self-aware of the fact that I was ridiculous for 29 days. And it's like, okay, so but the fun part about it for me is like the mail person, because it's a mail lady. At no point did they decide to like, maybe we should do a welfare check on this guy because his mail has been piling up for a month.
That's a good point.
So this just in, nobody gives an F about me. So yeah, I went and got my mail yesterday.
That's good.
The first time since right after Labor Day, and like literally nothing in there.
Yeah.
Like nothing. But I'll probably not get it again until November. Like I'm screwed if I'm ever called for jury duty.
Oh yeah.
Because I'll be like, oh shit, I missed that.
I think.
Yeah, I missed that two weeks ago.
Yeah. There's a warrant out for your arrest.
Yeah. Tim's on the lam.
Oh, what a lame story. So my husband has a similar story. He went to jail because he also missed his mail, and he had gotten a ticket and forgot about it. And so they sent him a letter in the mail, and he was flooded out of his apartment, and so he couldn't check his mail. And so they issued a warrant for his arrest, and he literally went to jail over a letter that he didn't get in the mail. So maybe check your mail.
Maybe check your mail.
Yeah. It happens. But yeah, okay. Well, I have taken up a lot of your time.
I feel like we went over.
It's fine. I actually am allowed to go as long as I want. The station manager was like, just start at 8 and go until you're done. And I was like, okay, perfect.
I think we should start at 8 some night and then just go till like 3 in the morning.
Right. I can if I want to. Isn't that fantastic?
Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah. Who cares?
What's on the agenda tonight?
We're talking about cereal and peanut butter and jelly.
I don't know if you guys heard that fart, but that was a fart. Anyway,
you can mute your mic.
I know, but it stinks too. Wow. Whew. Anyway, Denise. So I was going to be serious.
Yeah.
And I can't breathe right now. But so in all seriousness, and I mentioned earlier, like humor is how I deal with a lot of difficult subjects. I don't know if you can tell. But in all seriousness, I'm so proud of you for doing this show.
Thank you.
And giving people a voice and giving yourself a voice when it comes to this stuff. And yeah, now that I'm on days, you let me know and we'll just talk.
Awesome.
And we'll chase people away.
Yeah, I'm totally down.
Yeah. For the 6 people that are still listening.
Well, you just ripped ass in the
I did. And now I'm burping. I can't stop.
No, it is this is not easy, honestly, because a lot of times I talk about things that are very tough to talk about. And that was kind of the point of the show, is that I wanted people to know that other people are not okay either. And I wanted people to understand. So I decided I'm just going to put myself out there and tell people how messed up I am and how, the things that I do because of, whatever, my anxiety or depression or whatever. And people really like it. I get messages all the time and people are like, thank you for talking about that, because I thought I was the only one.
Yeah, it's important. And like I said, just really super proud of you and doing that thing.
Thank you.
I am lactose intolerant, so that may have something to do with it. but yeah, I should probably return this text message to work.
Oh yeah, for
and
sure.
Maybe go sit with the dogs and enjoy the rest of the night. But
yeah.
And
as always, if you need anything, just reach out.
I won't, but thank you.
I know, but I had to say it.
All right.
But yeah, I will see everybody next week. And Tim, enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.